My entitled mother barged into my house with my pregnant sister, and demanded I hand over my home to them. In this jaw-dropping story, a man faces off against his manipulative mother and spoiled sister after the death of his father. When they try to steal the house left to him in the will, things escalate fast. My entitled mother demanded I give her my house, because my pregnant sister needed it more. I'm a 31-year-old guy with a 28-year-old sister who's always been the golden child, at least in our mom's eyes. Dad never treated us unfairly, but our mother? Totally different story. Ever since I can remember, she was controlling, manipulative, and full of herself. And sadly, my sister followed right in her footsteps. When my parents divorced during my teenage years, because mom cheated with some high school fling, I went to live with dad. My sister, of course, stayed with mom. They were basically clones, both obsessed with money and appearances, and barely spoke to my father unless it was about squeezing more cash out of him. Meanwhile, dad was business-minded and practical. He started teaching me his trade when I was just 16. I worked hard and climbed the ladder, and eventually, after 12 years, I became his business partner. Things were great, until tragedy struck about 8 months ago. Dad had been a heavy smoker, and when he caught COVID, his body just couldn't fight it off. He passed at 60. We held a virtual funeral since it was mid-lockdown. That was the first time I saw my mother and sister in years. My sister seemed genuinely sad, but my mom sat there like it was a boring meeting. No tears, no emotion. Just indifference. Honestly, I wasn't shocked. The last time she saw Dad, she screamed at him for owing her more money and even threatened to sue him. He just laughed it off. He had already paid child support and alimony for as long as required. He even put $30,000 toward my sister's college. That was more than enough. And let's be clear, my mom wasn't broke. She had a steady job she'd been doing for decades, fully owned the old family home, and even rented out a couple of rooms on Airbnb. She was doing just fine financially. After the funeral, Dad's will was read. Apparently, he'd been preparing for his death for a while, even joked in a pre-recorded video that if the cigarettes didn't get him, something else would. Nearly all of his assets, business holdings, and home went to me. My sister got a 2015 Nissan Altima and about $10,000 in cash. My mom got $1,000 and a few random items she'd always claimed were hers. Soon after, my partner moved in with me, and we started living in the house my father left me. Fast forward a few months. One evening, I got a knock at the door. Guess who? My mom and my sister, standing there with smug looks like they owned the place. Without even asking, they walked right in. My girlfriend and I exchanged confused glances. My sister started wandering around the house like she was on a real estate tour, opening doors and saying things like, "Mommy. It's perfect." Yeah, she still calls her mommy. Cringe. My mom just sat down on my couch and snapped her fingers, barking, "Get me a cold bottled water." My girlfriend grabbed one just to avoid drama. Finally, I asked what they were doing here. That's when my mom said, "I think it's time you do your brotherly duty." "Huh?" I said. Then she dropped the bombshell, "Now that your father's gone, this house should have gone to me, since I was his only spouse. But you can still fix it. You make good money, go buy yourself another house. Your sister needs this one more. She's pregnant. Oh, and if I refused? Then I could stay here but only in one room, while continuing to pay all the bills, until I came to my senses." I couldn't believe the audacity. But my girlfriend and we'd read enough Reddit to see where this was going. So, I stood up, took a deep breath, and said firmly, "That's not happening. You don't get to boss me around anymore, especially not in my own home. Yes, I make good money, but like Dad, I plan to save it, not throw it away because you two feel entitled." That's when Mom snapped. Literally, she started snapping her fingers and yelling, "Stop. I am your mother. You will do as I say. I brought you into this world, I am God to you. When I say jump, you say how high. Then she added, "This house is mine, and your sister will live here. Consider this your formal eviction. But because I'm gracious, I'll give you 2 weeks to leave and transfer the deed." I stared in disbelief. This couldn't be real. I pulled out my phone and started dialing. My mother leapt up, yelling, "What are you doing?" "I'm calling the police," I replied. "To get you out of my house." She lunged at me, swiped the phone out of my hand, and tried to stomp on it. I snatched it up before she could. Then she slapped me. Big mistake. I slapped her back, not out of rage, but instinct. Hard enough to knock her onto the couch. She clutched her face, smeared makeup and all, and screamed, "How dare you!" I raised my phone again and calmly said, "You have 2 choices, leave, or I call the cops to physically remove you." My sister rushed in, waving her arms and whining, "Be a good brother for once. Just let me have the house. I need it. I lost it." "You need it? Who worked for this house? Who started working at 16? Who paid their own way? You sat on your butt playing video games and blowing your allowance. You even stole my money. You don't deserve this house." My sister started crying, and my mom hugged her, glaring at me. Then, with a twisted smirk, my mom said, "You know, I could just tell the police you hit me. I could say you tried to attack your poor pregnant sister. Think anyone would believe you over us?" But my girlfriend, who had been filming the whole time, chimed in, "That would be tough to explain, considering we have everything on video, including you slapping him first and threatening to lie to the cops." My mom's face went pale. Suddenly, she grabbed my sister by the arm and tried dragging her out. But my sister flopped down on the porch, throwing a tantrum like a toddler, crying, "You promised me." My mom glared at me and hissed, "This is your fault. This is what happens when you're selfish." I pointed at the camera and said, "Clock's ticking. Get off my property." They finally left. But of course, that wasn't the end. Soon, I started getting bombarded with messages. Friends, relatives, many angry, some confused. My mom and sister had already posted online that I stole my sister's inheritance by paying off the lawyer. Total lies. But joke's on them, their profiles were public. My girlfriend screenshotted everything. We printed it out and sent it to my lawyer, who also happened to be my father's longtime legal advisor. He offered to send a cease and desist. I said, "Let's go further." We mailed them a letter, express, signature required, demanding they take everything down and issue public retractions, or we'd go public with the videos and press charges. That same day, my mom called me in a rage. "You're threatening your own mother." "No," I said. "I'm protecting myself." "You lied. You tried to ruin my name. Fix it, or I will." Later that evening, the posts disappeared. I was unblocked. My mom issued a half-hearted apology, claiming she jumped the gun and that she thought the house should go to the pregnant one. Yeah, sure. My sister parroted her apology, blaming hormones and just doing what mom told me to. Their side of the family stayed mostly quiet, but people from dad's side openly supported me. My sister and her boyfriend ended up moving in with mom, into her basement. She wouldn't even let them live upstairs, too busy running her Airbnb. My sister took to social media again, whining about having to live in the basement of her future home. But this time, nobody was buying it. And me? I'm still living in the home my father left me, peaceful, quiet, and finally free from their drama. It didn't take long before things started spiraling again. Even though my mother and sister had left my house in humiliation, they weren't done. Letting go. Not something my mother was ever capable of. A few days later, the drama found me again, this time online. I started getting strange messages from people I hadn't spoken to in years, friends, distant relatives, even acquaintances. Some of them were furious with me. Others just confused. They said things like, "Why would you steal your sister's inheritance? I thought you were better than this. Your sister is pregnant. How can you be so heartless? I was baffled, until my girlfriend checked their social media accounts. Turns out, both my mom and sister had blocked me on everything, but left their posts public. My girlfriend, who still had access, started screenshotting everything. There it was, in plain text and pictures. Post after post accusing me of being a greedy, heartless monster who manipulated the will, bribed the lawyer, and stole the home that was meant to be my sister's. They painted themselves as victims. My sister claimed she was being cast into the streets while pregnant. My mother wrote paragraphs about how ungrateful I was and how my father would have wanted the house to go to his family, not his money-grubbing son. It was a complete circus. But we didn't just sit on it. My girlfriend printed out everything, dozens of screenshots. Then we combined them with the video footage we took the day they barged into my house. I sent it all to my lawyer, who, thankfully, was also my late father's attorney and a trusted family friend. His first suggestion? A formal cease and desist letter. But I wasn't satisfied with that. They tried to ruin my name. I wanted them to face consequences. So I told him, make it loud. Let them sign for it. He drafted a legal letter demanding they take down all defamatory content, issue public retractions, and stop spreading lies, or I'd take it further. Civil court. Public exposure. Police involvement. We sent the letter via express delivery, signature required. That same afternoon, my phone rang. Guess who? Yup. Mom. She was absolutely fuming. How dare you threaten your own mother like this, she screeched. I did what I did for your sister. She's struggling. She deserves that house. I calmly responded, you did what you did out of entitlement and spite. And if you don't clean up your mess, I will expose everything. The posts, the video, the threats, all of it. She kept ranting. I just stayed quiet. Eventually, she gave up. Fine, she snapped. You win. Keep your precious house. Click. That evening, the smear posts vanished. I was unblocked. And suddenly, a new message appeared on both of their profiles, a weak, half-hearted apology. My mother wrote, we may have jumped the gun in assuming what my son would do. The house is legally his, and we should have respected that. No mention of the lies. No real accountability. My sister. Same vibe. She posted, sorry for any confusion. I was emotional and going through a lot. I just did what mom told me. Pregnancy hormones are rough. No apology to me, just a public face-saving move. The fallout was interesting. Some people who had believed them reached out and apologized. Sorry man, I didn't know the full story. Didn't realize they twisted it that much. That video changed everything. But to me, all it really did was show who had believed them without hesitation, and who actually knew me. Most of the ones who turned on me were from my mother's side of the family anyway. My dad's side? They never doubted me once. In fact, a few of my cousins told me they'd already unfollowed both my mom and sister because they smelled the BS from a mile away. As for my sister and her boyfriend? Well, they moved into mom's house, but not the main floor. She made them stay in the basement, because she needed the Airbnb income. My sister took to social media again, crying about how she was being forced to live underground while pregnant, but this time, nobody was buying it. Meanwhile, my mom. Radio silent. No more finger snapping. No more demands. Just silence. And me? I'm still in the house my dad left me. With my girlfriend. In peace. No tantrums. No guilt tripping. No entitled family members demanding what's not theirs. Just quiet. And freedom.